This same eclipse we're seeing today will repeat in 56 years. So this is where solar eclipses get their mystique. They don't happen very often, and there's a long time frame for them to happen in the same place.
The August 21st solar eclipse has been the talk of the country for quite a few weeks, as people prepared themselves for what could be a once-in-a-lifetime event. Essentially, a solar eclipse is a quirk of nature in which the sun and the moon take up the same amount of sky from our view on Earth. So when the moon moves in front of the sun, the sky is completely covered for those in the path of totality.
The moon and the Earth have an orbital plane that's not the same plane as the Earth and the sun. And so because of that, if it were the same, then we'd have an eclipse. We'd have two eclipses a month. We'd have a solar eclipse at new moon, a lunar eclipse at full moon. Because they're not the same plane, they're inclined by 5 degrees, we only have these a couple eclipses a year.
The totality of this particular solar eclipse will only be seen in a path of about 70 miles wide from Oregon to South Carolina. The start of the moon's coverage to the end is about 3.5 to 4 hours, but complete coverage only lasts a few brief minutes. The last solar eclipse that could be seen in Marquette at all was in May of 1994. And it was only a partial eclipse. The eclipse will be seen in the area, but as we are not in the path of totality, we won't see as much.
You won't see the sky get dark the way you would in the path of totality. We're going to be between 70 and 80% blocked, so probably you won't see much of a change in lighting in the sky. But if you look through the telescope, you'll see a black disk, the moon, move in front of the sun.
Northern Telescope will be open to the public to view the eclipse, but Donovan cautions those who are observing on their own to have eye protection.
When the sun is being blocked, the visible light that would cut down your pupils and keep you from staring too long aren't there. There are other forms of radiation coming off the sun that can be damaging. So you want to be careful not to try to look, too directly. So you want to have appropriate filtered glasses, or in our case, we have a filter for the telescope that make it safe for you to look at.
Donovan also warns that weather can have adverse effects on eclipse viewings, and a particularly cloudy day could hide any signs of an eclipse. Solar eclipses have been attracting attention since the ancient times, dating back to Stonehenge, which can be used to predict eclipses. Eclipses also help prove Einstein's theory of relativity. And now, decades in the future, modern scientists spend years preparing for eclipses and are currently setting up in the path of totality in hopes of answering a slew of scientific questions.
People have been setting up for years, getting ready for this, and they'll have 2 to 4 minutes to get all the data they can, and they have to, hope their situation won't be compromised by weather or last-minute equipment delays.
Reporting from Marquette for ABC 10 in the CW5, I'm Chelsea Birdsall.